Howdy y'all. Thank you for joining us today for this unboxing of a big game. It's probably going to be a long video, so I'm going to try to make it as quick as possible. But Scarface 1920. And I'm zoomed way out here because I want to show you the playmat. Which, nice size playmat. And you can kind of see here. Fortunately, it was a little crinkled for some reason in the bag, so I'm sure that'll flatten out. And I do know some people complained that on the edge here, the wording, I mean, I guess this one's a little stitched, but they were saying that the stitches were right here, stitching into the lettering for showing the spots there. Mine is a little bit on that, but I don't know how bad, 'cause I didn't really look at the other ones, but I have heard there's there. But you can see all this here. All right, let's take a look at the game. Okay, I'm zoomed way out here because this is a huge box. I have played this game already. I don't know if the box needed to be quite this big. I guess as long as it fits everything in there, that's good, which I think it does with the trays and everything. But I'm kind of like a lot of people. I don't like these. Well, I guess this is at least board game size, so at least go on your shelf. But do I really need a big box like this? I did forget to show the bag while I was zoomed out. This is the playmat bag, which kind of like a cheesecloth bag, which is kind of nice that they at least gave you a bag. So, but all right. So as you can see here, like I said, this is a big old box. That's where I'm zoomed way out. You can see it's a pretty thick box. And you can see here, it even says it is a game for 1 to 4 players, 90 to 150 minutes, ages 14 plus. I think it is roughly more into that 150 minutes, if not more. I would say almost about 4 hours is what you're going to be really looking at. But I think anyone who plays board games knows that. So you kind of already know that. Add extra time on there. Especially if you got people with analysis paralysis. I can tell you this is really, really, really going to have a lot of downtime. Anyways, as you can see here, it's going to show all the stuff here as it's going to be set up as you're playing. And then it's got all the components down here. But let's get into this. We'll say this game very much catches the theme. So if you're into this theme, you're going to feel it really a lot. You're going to like this game a lot because it does catch the theme. Especially the viciousness of stealing and taking each person's money and shutting down their way of making money and whatnot. So, all right. Right off the back, thanks for making it happen. Shows you all the game exclusive stuff. The Scarface figure, 9 job cards, 5 news cards, 5 dealer cards, the 2 raid cards, the Enforcers expansion, which we have over there because this is the all-in. The game trays, the game upgrades. It shows you unique cars for each gang, the plastic family ring, unique buildings, and the customized crime rate markers. And then it has a list with all the backers. And we got the rule book here. Pretty thick, but we'll see how the layout really is. Shows all the game components there. The game setup, the basic concepts you need to know. So 8 pages of basic concepts. Then you get to the gameplay overview, and that's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So about 13 pages, and you can see it's a lot of print, but for the most part, it's pretty, looks pretty standard. You go to the spot it talks about, and it tells you what you do there. So, not bad. I mean, you just go find what you need to do here. There's a lot you can do in this game. And then it's got the game variants where you can do job drafting or customized deck. And then it's got a glossary for quick lookup of stuff. And quick reference on the back. Then it's got looks like a little miniature book for the solo mode. And that book is 8 pages, so, or 7 with the reference. We got the board here. I'm not going to open it up, but it's basically looks like it's 6 segments if you didn't get the playmat. So it looks like, yeah, I kind of just looked at it. It's the same as what you saw with the playmat, just 6 segment. And actually, sorry I did 2 edits like that, but I decided to check. Yeah, the board's a little smaller than the playmat, or the other way around. The playmat's a little smaller than the board, but it's because you're getting the stitched edging and whatnot. So give or take with that. It was the same way with Scythe, where the bigger board was bigger than the actual playmat. So and then we got cardboard here. You can see the cardboard here. I should have the plastic money in my stuff, so I'm not going to keep all this money. I'm probably just going to put it somewhere else. But it is cardboard money instead of paper money. And then you have, this is for each person. This is where they can move their guys from the slums to the headquarters. Basically training up your guys, or having, whether they're in the safe house or not. So it looks like most of this cardboard is just the money, which I'll just give you a closer look at the money. Then we have the locations. Along with if you make them into a nightclub, or the neighborhood's into a nightclub. And then I should have the plastic chits for these also, which are the types of things you can have set up. Like you can have a brothel, a speakeasy, so the buildings you have it within the neighborhood, the businesses. And there's some more of them for the neighborhoods, along with the nightclubs. And then you can see there are casinos and speakeasies, along with the cardboard ring. And I'll show these trays, and then I'll load them up and show you everything, how it goes back in the box with the loaded up trays. But you can see there's guns and barrels, or guns and barrels of whiskey, I should say. And actually, I'll show this. So he sent these, they were just in a baggie. And they say on there, Scarface. And the barrels and guns, I'm assuming, go in here. I mean, that might save more space to where I could basically put the playmat in the box and don't have to have it in a bag, which would be nice. And then, I guess, don't have to have this tray, but we'll see when I'm putting everything together. But I think I almost kind of like this tray better. While these look cooler, this tray closes. This is just sliding off. I really don't like that. But we'll see once I get everything in there. But you can see more trays for stuff. Like I said, I'm not going to go through each of these trays. I'll show them all when I load everything up in there, because then we also have the player trays. Like I said, I'll show them all. I'll show all this off whenever I load up the trays, but we got all 4 player trays here into the bottom of the box. These are just the player aids, which show you the reorganization turn, which you're going to have to do, and they step by step have that. And then it's got the action turn layout, and this is the stuff that's on the board. This is just so you don't have to keep looking on the board, which is why I think since you have this, you don't really need the stuff on the board, but I guess it's nice to have it there. So when you look at the spots, you can see what you need to do. Then they have these screens, which it almost makes me want to just get some type of tin or something. I really don't like the screens. When I played it, like, I'll show you how it sets up on the player things, but I don't understand why you would use that. I'd rather have kind of like the Godfather Corleone's War had, where you have like a little tin briefcase, which actually I might take out of my Corleone's War and add that to this and give you the little briefcase to keep your money in. Just because it's real easy to look behind someone's screen and see what they have. I noticed that when playing. But yeah, let's look at each of the factions. Okay, we got the player boards here, and you can see these are dual layered, where these cubes are going to sit down inside of here. It kind of reminds me of Eclipse in a way, where you're going to be. This is really just a track, and when you remove cubes off of here, whatever's underneath the cube, you're going to get a bonus, and that's like moving up the track and getting those bonuses. And then there's going to be an added effect. I know this isn't the character, but there's going to be this added effect where it just kind of shows the boss, your boss, like in this case it'd be Capone, moving on this track, and that way you can see where he's at over here to the left. But yeah, that's kind of how that's going to work. You're going to move cubes off of here, and when you do, the way you get the cubes off here, you just upgrade, and it tells you how to upgrade over here, which is going to give you some wanted or some extra abilities and whatnot. But it just kind of gives a presence to the boss, really, for this. And you can kind of see how all this should be the same for the most part. The differences are really going to be the boss themselves and what they do whenever you play their card. So you can see and if I see any differences, I'll let you know. But right now, it all looks like it's all the same stuff, other than just the boss ability, which is the way it should be. And I didn't show it, but they also have, if you're playing in solo mode, the way they're going to work. And I get it, they couldn't do the dual layered for the most part, but without having to have you build them yourself or something. Alright. We got just a little white chit, looks like it goes down in there. These are deals that you can have, where you can build out a tableau for basically getting more resources. We'll go through those. We got more cards to look at here, which are jobs. Got some more cards to look at here. News. Raid cards. These are like basically for the pool building. So you can build your actions up to do what you want to do with your faction. And then we'll take a closer look at all this stuff. I won't take a closer look at these. They're just purple cubes, plastic. We got for each color. Like I said, we'll put all those inside their spots. We do have the ring. And, alright. I'm assuming just a different Capone figurine. Yep. I didn't show you it, but the Elliot Ness figurine. And then the cop cars. And there's 3 of them. Alright, let me show you everything else, then I'll show you how everything loads up in here. Well, actually, let's look at the cards, now I'll show you everything else, and show you how everything else loads up in here. Okay, I'll start out. These are the upgraded crime markers for each of the gangs. And they're just plastic. And I don't know what it is with my Kickstarters recently, but apparently my stuff just comes in a little messed up. So on this one, I noticed when I opened it that this card was bent around the bottom of the package. And you can kind of see it's a little, well, but it's a little bent. And I mean, I was able to flatten it out a little bit. Once again, in a sleeve, maybe I won't see so much. But even I noticed some of the cards just kind of have like a little bit of a gouges in the back of them and stuff like that. At least the back card did. Like I said, I'm hoping, I don't think I'll be able to use the sleeves because I did get the sleeves with this. Which, it shows you all the sizes there and the number count. That way if you want to go look for it. But if these are the sleeves I saw, these are non-matte. And with that damage, I'm going to have to switch to the mattes. Now, I am glad, I'll say one thing about this. For it being where you're going to be kind of building a deck a little bit to a degree, but something where you're going to be doing like action selection, stuff like that, to where you're going to be looking at these cards, especially because on some of these that print's really, really small. I do like they went with the bigger cards. Just something about holding these bigger cards in the hand. But of course, it does suffer from the problem of anytime you go with anytime it's bigger cards, it's going to be real rough on getting a thick card. But yeah, I think that's what attributed to this a little bit. But because of these gouges on the back of, this is like the starter, well, I'll stop complaining about it, but this is the starter cards for each faction. Which, maybe they're, oh, it does say it. How about say, it says what faction they're in, as far as like what gang they're in. So these are the cards that are going to be unique to each, your starting deck, and then the cards that are unique to each deck, which is really cool in this game. And this is one of the cards I was talking about. So these are the ones that you can get that are part of the main deck. And I'll see if I can get the shine on there, but there's like gouges all through this. So like if this card's on top of the deck, it's going to be very easy to notice that that's cards on top of the deck. Like if it would have been on the front, that wouldn't have been so bad. But yeah. Anyways, one of the cool things, and I'll try to go through each of these. One of the cool things about this game is every single card is unique. As far as like out of this deck that you can add to your gang. And each of them has a unique effect. And what they add to allow you to do stuff as far as influence and fighting power. So that's the reason I know I'm not stopping enough to where you can read that, because it'd be hard to read each of those. But just to show you each of the cards, you can at least read what the card is. But I'll probably reach out to the company and see about that. I'll see if the matte sleeves are enough to cover it up. But next we got jobs. So these are unique jobs you can pull off, and they'll tell you whether it's a one-time use when you get the stuff for it, or whether it's a permanent ability you're going to have, and then let you know what it does and what you need to do in order to pull the job off. And there's a ton of these. I know I should just go quickly through this, but I do want to show all the different jobs. That way you can see this is definitely a game that could have a lot of replayability, because every game can be different depending on what jobs you get or what people you're able to hire into your gang. Now, I'm not going to go through each of these, but these are the raid cards. These are what happens when somebody gets all the way up the crime track, or when an extra happens. And like I said, I'm not going to go through each of these, but you can see they're going to have effects, and depending on where you're at on the track, what you'll have to do. Next is the different dealers. So these are, looks like these first ones are the starting ones that everybody starts with. They start with one of each of those. And then these are the other ones you can get for making whiskey or guns, so that you can create the resources that you need in order to go use them in your jobs, or not jobs, businesses, so you can make money, or not business, but neighborhoods, sorry. Then they got the solo mode cards, and like I said, I'm not going to get through all those, but you can see it determines the actions they're going to do, and at what strength and whatnot. Then we have the news cards, which is only going to be 3 of these per game. So you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4. That there are 20, it says 21, but one of them is the game end one. But so there's going to be 20 different of the 3, so that could change and that's going to be what's going on for that round. So that could change a lot of variability and whatnot. Next, we'll take a look at this. This is the Paperboy figurine, which is basically just the how many more rounds you really have type thing, like the round tracker really is what it is. And it also comes with 3 extra cards, which, as we just talked about, is going to change that replayability, because that's 3 more. Well, it said 3. It said 3 new cards, but yeah, so it's just a round tracker, but something nicer than just that little white thing. And it was just 3 cards. I'm just going to show the English ones, that way you can see if you want them. Well, I'll show each language. Because it won't take that much more time. So that's what it was. That's the reason it said 3 cards, because they're giving it to you in each language. That way, if you order it, you get them in the language that you're playing in. Next, I'm assuming this is all my plastic bits. So this is probably all the plastic money, since it's a money bag. And to me, this is a really nice upgrade, because these are plastic for the money. You know how much, if you've watched my videos before, you know I do not like the cardboard. So being able to have the plastic money, but this is actually my issue with the screen, which is why I'm going to see if I can't find a 10 or something to put these in. Because that screen's not very big, so if these are stacked up behind it, it's real easy to see the colors, like whether it's yellow, blue, if they just got a big old stack of greens or yellows or whatever. So it's not hard, and I wasn't trying to see behind people's screen, but it was like, oh, they'd ask a question, look over, and oh look, your screen's kind of like, hey, I could see that big old stack of 1s or 10s or whatever over there. So see if I can't do something about that. I'm not going to break each of these out, but you can see they got the plastic business markers instead of the cardboard. Once again, like it. Don't have to play with the cardboard. There's a white box in there. Oh, just more barrels and more guns. Which I don't know if I really need that many more, but we got them. And then we have the expansion, the Enforcers, from what I understand, if you've played Dwellings of Eldervale, this is like mercenaries that you can hire that basically now are unique figurines that do things on the board. So let's take a closer look at that. All right, just make sure I got everything out of the box there. So we have each of them, how to add them into the game, setup, and how they work, which I'm hoping there's a card or something that has all this on it. I don't like the idea it's just paper. Now I got to go, okay, well, hold on. This is what she does. They could have at least gave a card or something, I'm assuming. We'll see. And then we got, oh, maybe, oh, that's solo mode rules. Okay, but still, they should have just made this a book or a card if it's going to be out for solo mode. And then here's the actual rules. I guess I can see it with solo mode, not so bad, because once you know how they work, you don't really need this out every time. I thought that was going to be something that's out every time. I was like, I'm not really happy with that. Alright. And we got some more cardboard, which hopefully there's some plastic to replace this, because I don't want this cardboard. But I'm going to assume not, because it didn't mention anything about those type of markers. And this is just so that you can see which, like once they join your family, you can put it on the bottom of the enforcer to know that they are your worker that you can place. All right, let's take a look at their cards real fast here, and then we'll put everything inside the trays and see what's up. All right, so we have their actual cards that will go in your deck. And I will stop on these, that way you can see them, pause and be able to look. Go back through them again. That way you know if you want to go out of your way to go get them. Which if you're a fan of the game, you're going to, let's be real. And I'm assuming this is something we'll do. Nope, this is probably just the thing out there. And it'll let you know what happens when you hire them and whatnot. So I'm assuming you go get their card, you put it out, and just like the bosses get to do things, they get to when you play their card. Alright, let's put everything in the trays, see if we can get all this stuff into the box. Okay, I think I kind of figured it out a little bit. You can see there's definitely spots that for all the cards, and I actually think there's going to be enough spots for them, even if they're sleeved. I think they left enough space for all that. The only reason it didn't look like it at the moment is technically these would not be down in here. They would be with the player trays, and I'll show that in a second. But I just wanted to, basically, and I'll show why, but I'm going to put them here for now. But it does look like everything's got to go in here now. The enforcers, unfortunately, I didn't see a spot for the enforcers other than just having them loosely in here. If you want to mix the expansion in, which I'm not carrying an extra box around, so that's the way they're going to sit in there. I even tried to get the tray in here in some way, just couldn't figure that one out. But yep, so that will go down in there, which would be your little things. The enforcer rule books, you can probably put them with the rule books. I'd prefer to have them here because Since it's paper and not cardboard, I don't want it to get bent. Then we just put the player things down in there. These, there's a spot I can put them at top. I'm just going to go ahead and put them up under here. So the only thing I noticed is, so you can get everything replaced and you can have it all as plastic except for the solo bits that I can see here. And these, which I'm sure once I play and figure things out, I can find things to replace those with. And they won't be able to probably go here in the future once these are sleeved up, but I'm going to put that stuff there anyways for now. Well, like I said, the whole point was so those don't get bent, so I'm going to put them like that instead. Alright. So next goes in the player trays, and I told you I'd go show these a closer look. And I know these probably aren't supposed to go in there, but I'm not putting them down in there and then hand them out to each player. I can just hand you your tray and you can have that. Normally those cards per player, their unique cards, will go here, and that way they have all their starting cards and their unique things. Like I said, I just didn't want to take a chance of any more gouges. I don't think it will. This looks like it's pretty raised high enough to where none of these will do it, but figured until I get them sleeved, might as well not mess with it at all. But I'll give you a look at the miniatures here as we're talking about this stuff, basically. And you can see where I put everything into the trays. And then, like I said, the player cards would go there. This would go, well, actually, before I close that up, I realized I forgot to put these in there for the Enforcers expansion. But then this. And I said I'd show this, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that out for a second. Because actually, once you take all the stuff out of your tray and you're ready to play, what they have designed, and Game Trays did design it, I just don't like the design, and that's fine. But you're going to have this tray where you get to put your screen up and it sits, well, trying to do it. This sits like this as a guard, and if you're sitting at 4 sides of a table orthogonically, it will probably cover up and be fine. But we usually sit 2 to each side at our table we play at, so hence you have to play like this. And that's not much of a shield to shield how much people can see stuff. So I'm probably going to, I thought about the tins from Cordion's War, but I might actually try to find 4 smaller money bags like this for people to keep their money in or something, you know. I think that's kind of cool. But if you have your setup like this, you can do this. And it will hide your little thing here. And then it's hard to probably notice, but there's these little grooves on the tray where you can put your hand cards. But it suffers from the same problem of that I have with this, is if you are not sitting orthogonically, you can see people's cards, whether you want to intentionally or not. I'm happy with Game Tracer designing something like this. I just never used it. I didn't like the idea. Oh, you can see, I mean, the boss card is very noticeable. Oh, look, he's got his boss card in his hand. So he's probably going to be able to do some stuff. So, but yeah, nice trays. And then this all closes up in there to where you just hand them their tray. But yeah, nice trays. And then they'll just slide down in here. And I told you I'd show you each of the factions. So let's pop them open. So you can see all the meeples and wonders. So here's the North Side Mob. And you can see the unique vehicles and meeples or miniatures for each. And I'll pull out the, well, I'll put the building on the side. But so we have a Chicago outfit here. We have the 7 gems here. Like I said, I like those trays. I like that I can just handle all that. And I get why they did the top. That's kind of useful, but so you don't just put the tray off to the side, but yeah. All right, let's get to this. Yes, I was not able to. Unfortunately, I have to use these. I don't know if they just didn't plan on it, because I don't know if the cardboard would even fit in there, but I just kind of put the ones and then all the nightclubs in that. And then you can see how I spread the money out here. And they had spots for the, let me see if I can get this open, for the businesses here for the cardboard, but I'm getting rid of my, I'm not going to get rid of it. It's just going to go to the storage unit. I'm not going to put the cardboard in here. I guess I could, but if I got the plastic bits, then there's no reason to have the cardboard in here. And then you can see the 5s and whatnot. So I was hoping to be able to use these trays for the barrels, which these are nice. I like these. I just don't like the way it closes. Like, it doesn't clasp. So it worries me if this is going to pop open. Especially like the barrels. Okay, it pops open. The barrels aren't going to just sling everywhere, but these guns are pretty small. And this is just one set of the barrels. I got the other barrels so that I can use them for other games as extras. But I can't really think of other than Sons of Anarchy that I need guns for. So I just put them inside of this. And I'm just hoping, as you're about to see here, because I'm also not putting the board in here since I have the playmat. And I have not tried this yet. So we're going to see if I can put the playmat in here. So that I like, as much as they gave a nice bag. I am happy they gave a nice bag. But I don't want to have to carry around extra stuff when I am wanting to carry my board games around. So I want to see if I can get the playmat in there. So actually, let me put the rule books down in here first. Okay, so yeah, if you fold it in 3s, it'll go in here. I'm going to turn it 90 degrees, see if this fits better, but it's not going to close the box right to perfect, but you can take the board out, and I guess that will help what I have my worry about with those little trays. But you can see it won't close perfectly, but now I don't have to sit and carry a bunch of extra stuff around. I was able to get it all in one box. It would have been nicer to be able to just keep all the money in this, but then you don't have the trays. Like, I get it, money bag. Could just put this in there instead of having the playmat. But then I got to dump the money out, throw all the money back in here, which I guess could just be you're just going for a pile of money. And that'd make more sense. You could probably take some of those trays out or use the trays for the barrels. But you could probably pick and choose with that if you want to. I'll just probably use this for something else. Or I might even look at that. I think I like the idea actually of just dumping it all out. Yeah, I'll probably finagle with it, but that's all I'm going to do with it today. But it does make it to where you could just get rid of all the cardboard, which is what's in here, that can be replaced, and then the board can go somewhere. And then now I can just carry this if I want to, and I don't have to carry a bunch of stuff around with me. But cool. Well, I know this was long enough. Hope that gave you a good look at Scarface 1920. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.